Okay, alright, so I have started a new C# tutorial assignment, and I'm just setting up my computer, and I thought I'll make some video. And today I'm just going to show you how to install Visual Studio. Now obviously you start by just searching for Visual Studio. There you go. Now for C# and .NET, there are multiple options, of course, for .NET development these days. There is VS Code, which you already may have, which you're already using for GitHub and other things. If you want, you can just do C# and .NET in Visual Studio Code these days. However, if you are planning a career in .NET, then Visual Studio is the recommended option. And for most students, community version 2022 is the best option. So getting it is very straightforward. So just go here. You'll come to this website. There is a Indian mom and an Indian kid. That's good. That's good. That's good. I'm from India. Nice to see some Indian faces on websites. Okay, so I'm just downloading it. So what happens is you get the installer first. So you start with an installer, and then from the installer, which itself takes some time to download, and there it is. So here for C#, for basic C# development, so this, I usually teach essential C# development, nothing fancy, nothing Azure. So the only thing you have to select is this one. Simply select ASP.NET and web development, and that has everything. And if you just want to be sure, then go to individual components and make sure you have .NET 6, which is the current version, the long-term support. And if you're feeling crazy, install .NET 7.0 as well, which is the next version. But 6.0 is what really makes a big difference. And maybe you may want to install .NET 3.1 as well, but that is out of support lately. But you could be working on some .NET 3.1 projects as it is. Other than that, if you want to go old school, then you may want to install, it's already, actually it's getting selected, it's already there. So you may want to have 4.7 also, because some of the older projects, people still use 4.7, which came before .NET Core. Other than that, I think you're mostly okay with the default setup. So SQL Server Tools, sure. Click on Publishing, sure. Analytics, and you get Package Server, sure. If you want to do C++, there are other options. I wouldn't recommend you have to use C# for C++, but this is not a C++ video, so just going through it, making sure everything is there. Yeah, this is the default. ASP.NET, of course, okay. Visual Basic, sure, why not? F# language support, live share, obviously. You don't need any emulators, don't install them. No. And TypeScript, definitely. Entity Framework, absolutely. Yes, sir. You definitely need Entity Framework, absolutely. So yes, so going back to what I said, when you're installing Visual Studio 2022 for the first time, just select ASP.NET and web development. It contains everything you need for learning C# and also building web APIs. That's it. And then another thing I like to do is, I don't want to do this install while downloading. I've faced some issues in the past with that. So what I would recommend is you choose the option download all and then install. Mainly because sometimes the internet stops, and one thing I've noticed with Visual Studio in general is it can get a little messy. We are talking about a software which took life like some 20 years ago, so it has a lot of baggage, including the installation. Okay, so if you use the option which is install by downloading, and something happens like power cut or internet interruption and stuff like that, it's not easy to just resume and recover. If you use the download all then install option, you still will have problems, but at least you'll have less problems. So there you go. This is what I am recommending. So when you're installing, and then it's 8 GB, so depending on your internet speed or something, and it may take a while. I have a decent internet speed here, so it might happen really fast, but depending on your internet speed, it might take a really long time. Also, there's an option called start after installation. If I were you, I wouldn't do that, so just uncheck it to be on the safer side. It looks like it will only take a few minutes for me, so I'm gonna keep this video going, but if you want to leave right now, then this is a good point for you to leave. So that's all you have to do to install Visual Studio 2022, right? So I'm just gonna wait for it to finish installation just to show how it happens. But otherwise, this is all you need to know, But I'm gonna keep the video running. And I am surprised, though. I'm really surprised to see, which I assume is an Indian kid and an Indian mom. But for some reason, I'm finding it very funny because it's definitely obviously a staged photo, but the thing is, this perpetuates the standard stereotype that Indians are all South Indians, especially in the tech sector, and you can see they obviously these two models were chosen for their skin color. I mean, why would you do that? I mean, why do you give the impression that all Indians are brown? I mean, I am brown skinned, but majority of Indians are actually fair. Anyway, so again, you can't help it. I mean, for example, the CEO of Microsoft is Satya Nadella. He's not brown skinned. I mean, come on. Our heroes and heroines, they're not brown skinned, majority of them. But still, when it comes to tech sector, because most of the engineers are from South India, specifically from my place where I stay, I'm also from South India. So most of the guys, at least, we are brown skinned. So I guess, but our moms are actually fair. It's mostly guys who are brown skinned. Women usually are fairer even in South India. But anyway, you can't get out of that mindset, I guess. For me, this photo has become like a distraction. I wish they would put some other photo. If they want to represent Indian students and Indian developers, they could have gone with something less stereotype. Anyway, but yeah, I'm really, especially this mom's expression. Seriously, oh my God, it's a little too overboard, if you ask me. Very overboard. All right, okay. Okay, so there you go. The download is finished. The actual download is only about 2 to 3 GB. The installation is what really takes a really long time, but it's happening fast as well. I have a fairly powerful gaming computer. So, but please remember, depending on where you stay, depending on what time you're installing, even if you have a fast internet connection, the Microsoft servers might be down or slower that day. I've seen this happen. The other day, I was installing an update for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, not Modern Warfare, Warzone 2.0. There was an update. It was like only 800 MB, and it took like half an hour. But other times, I've seen the update happen in seconds. Like right now, this Visual Studio downloaded in less than a minute. So servers might be slow. So whenever you're installing Visual Studio, I would strongly recommend you do it when you're not in a rush and when you're free. And if you have a slower computer or a laptop, the installation will obviously take a really long time. So do the installation when you're chilling and when you're relaxed. Again, the steps are done. This is all you have to do. I'm gonna keep the video running and do some kind of a commentary. Like that mom in the photo. I mean, my own mom doesn't look like that when I was coding when I was a kid. It's a very stereotypical photo. I really do wish they would change that photo because of the obvious skin color reference. And this is too patronizing, man. Very patronizing photo. God. All said and done, though, I am happy they did put some Indian kids and Indian mom photo there. And it's not even an Indian website, so it's an American website on top of that. It's not visualstudio.co.in or something. So yeah. And also, I'm just talking about it because I need to speak about something. I don't like to leave the video without any voiceover. So it's giving me something to talk about, the animated kid and the animated mom over here. They could have used a better photo. Oh man, this just perpetuates the stereotype that all developers are brown skinned or something. Anyway, okay, I think we're almost done. 339 of 452. Along with the purple Visual Studio, I like to call this Visual Studio Purple. Of course, I hope you already have Visual Studio Blue, the VS Code thing. which is also important. And don't forget, you can simply use VS Code to do C# and .NET these days. Not as powerful, but very useful if you're doing full stack development, or maybe you're trying out .NET on a Mac computer or a Linux computer, because Visual Studio Community obviously only works on Windows, whereas Visual Studio Code runs on Windows, Mac, Linux, and so on and so forth. So yeah, so pick your weapons carefully. As a developer, you need to pick your tools based on your resources. So if you're a Mac person, then you can definitely do all the coding. I have a friend in Finland. He's a very senior developer, very senior developer. He is doing all his .NET development on VS Code for the last 2 to 3 months. In fact, his entire company, the company he works for, they switched over to Mac. I think majority of them did. They're a .NET company. Well, actually, they're an Azure .NET company, and they are now doing all their .NET coding on Macs, which was something you would not imagine happening like 5 years ago or something. Back then, .NET was Windows only, but then Microsoft introduced this .NET Core situation. We are actually on .NET 6 and 7 now. Oh, it's done. That's it. Installed. Oh, there you go. I don't have to talk too much. You don't have to listen to me go on and on about all the things I want to complain about. So let's fire it up. Okay, so there you go. Visual Studio 2022. All right. It's launching. Nice. Sign into Visual Studio. I think I'm going to do that. There we go. Sign into your account. Yes, sir. There you go. Let's see. Okay, next. Send a notification. All right, let me just get my tablet here and accept the notification. Hold on. Almost done. Okay, accept. Almost there. The number is 68. Done. Okay, that's it. They really made the sign-in process easier across all Microsoft apps. I remember, there was a time before. I have the Office 365 subscription, and I remember I had to go through a lot of hoops to use those apps on the computer because of two-factor authentication. But these days, logging into a Microsoft account has become really good. And come on guys, I don't want the black color, so let me go to tools or theme. Yeah, tools, theme. There it is, light. I think it's syncing already, so it knows I like white. So I think because I logged in, it's already syncing to the white color, which is what I like on my other machine as well. So there you go. That's Visual Studio for you, installed on my computer. It has .NET 6 and I think .NET 7 as well. So that's all there is to it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you.